It's a beautiful day out here. Sunny today with light breezes, giving way to clouds in the afternoon. We could see some light precipitation to moderate precipitation later on, followed by powerful storm-like conditions. 90 miles per hour winds are expected. Authorities are asking everyone, stay indoors. Come on, that's it. Let's go.
In Fairfield County, something new comes across my desk every day. Crimes are committed, cases are solved, and a community is made safe by the hardworking employees of the Fairfield County Sheriff's Office.
Welcome to This Week with Sheriff Dave Phelan, a weekly program here on LSN. We're also carried by a number of the local radio affiliates. Do appreciate you, the viewers and listeners that join us each and every week. Starting 2015, we've got a great guest this week. We've got Sergeant Jared Collins. Good to see you.
Well, thanks for having me, sir.
Yeah, we were talking before showtime. It's been a year or two since you've been on.
It has.
Lots of things to report. And the sergeant is actually the commander of our SCRAP team, which is an acronym for Street Crime Reduction and Apprehension Program. And you've been there for a year or so?
Yeah, a little over a year, sir. It's been very interesting.
For the viewers and listeners that may not know what the SCRAP team does, why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, we conduct short-term street-level drug and different crime investigations. Our primary focus is on the street-level drug dealers and traffickers. Anything beyond a general 3-day investigation type thing, we generally pass off to our partners at the Major Crimes Unit.
Okay, so you guys are housed together, and you work more on the short-term stuff. They work more on the long-term investigations.
Yes, sir. Absolutely, and they complement each other like you wouldn't believe. It's excellent information sharing and good, solid investigative work on both ends.
What's the most common type of complaint you get related to narcotics problems within Fairfield County?
Right now, it's regional. In the Lancaster and mid to southern Fairfield County area, it's going to be the clandestine meth labs.
Right.
We've seen a major jump over the last several years in meth traffic and meth labs. Generally, in the northern part of the county, it's more individual dealers of heroin, marijuana, cocaine, those type of things.
You know, and a thought just came to me. I think what I'd like to do is have you back soon, and maybe we could even have a display of some of the drugs you see, some of the things parents could look for, maybe if they saw something at home or maybe in their yard or something like that.
Absolutely. We run into those situations every day where our education of the public is just not where it should be as far as especially a lot of these meth labs, because these items are usually thrown away in trash cans or ditched alongside the road and are still very potentially dangerous.
Now, with the increase in the meth labs, that's due a lot to the way they're able to make and produce the drug, right?
Yes, sir. Essentially, anyone with the right knowledge base can produce methamphetamine in their own house, in their bathtub, in their kitchen, with a few household chemicals and pharmaceuticals.
Now the bake and shake, that's a little bit different, right?
Yes, sir. That's the prevalent lab right now in the United States. It's a bake and shake, or what we term as a one pot or one vessel laboratory.
And they actually put this in like a 2-liter pop container, mix it up, shake it up.
Yes, sir.
And then
it's about a 45-minute process. It's extremely flammable, explosive, corrosive, and just absolutely dangerous to
Now try to describe what this would look like, because sometimes I know that neighbors have found them actually in their yards where maybe they've thrown them out, or maybe they're actually rolled it down a hill or into a ditch, and then they come back and pick it up later.
The best advice I can give to anyone is if you have a 2-liter or smaller plastic bottle, whether it's a Gatorade Powerade or a soda pop bottle that has a sludge or some form of solid mixed with liquid in it, give us a call. We'll send somebody out to look at it, and if need be, we'll remediate it.
Is there, are most of the times are they just sealed with a cap, or is there actually a tube that's?
Well, with
are they both?
with different processes, with your one pot vessel, it's just sealed with a cap generally.
Okay.
With the HCl gas generator, which is another process in the manufacture, those generally have a plastic tube coming out, and they're just as dangerous from more of an inhalation danger than fire and explosion.
Well, that's very interesting. I guess the next question would be, what if someone is out there today, they've seen something suspicious, maybe a neighbor where they've seen a lot of traffic in and out of the property, maybe they have suspicions of an individual car they keep seeing a certain location. How do they get in touch with you guys?
I'll tell you, the Major Crimes Unit tip line, it's 653-5224. That is the best way to get some action taken. And that's the wonderful thing about the scrap unit is the scrap unit is generally an immediate action arm of the Major Crimes Unit for these type of complaints. So if a citizen calls and talks to our tip line, leaves the information that whether it's a citizen, a property owner, landlord, they get almost instant action out of it. The general function of our unit is to address these citizen complaints and take care of those type of things.
So what phone number would they call?
That would be the 653-5224, the Major Crimes Unit tip line.
And if they call in to just like the Lancaster Police Department, the Fairfield County Sheriff's Office, they can go ahead and they'll forward that information to you.
Absolutely. They'll either transfer them to our tip line or they'll take the information and get it to us.
Now, for years, we've heard that the problem in the county, not only the county, but across the state of Ohio and across the United States, was the problems with the pain medication, the heroin problem, those kind of things.
You know, we still see a heroin and an opiate epidemic in the area. You know, at least from our viewpoint, though, we're seeing a lot of transition to methamphetamine.
Okay.
Even some of our...
Is that the availability or the price, or?
Well, I think it's a mix of both. I think it's a little cheaper. I think some of our long-term heroin addicts have started cooking methamphetamine to support their heroin habits. So it's unfortunately it's a vicious cycle that we're seeing kind of play out every day.
And last year, the Major Crimes Unit made over, and the scrap team made over 400 arrests.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a busy year. Did over 100 meth labs. We stayed busy all year.
And I think the upside is, it seems to me that we've certainly at least turned a corner on some of the issues that we've seen. And I think the biggest illustration of that is the decline as far as our jail population. So I think there's a lot of things maybe going on with that, but I think that thanks to the job that Scrap and you and the entire Major Crimes Unit and the Scrap team have done, it's made it a pretty uncomfortable place in Fairfield County to be bringing drugs in and carrying drugs.
I think so. And I think we see a direct correlation between our property crimes and the amount of drug cases we're putting up. And, you know, we've seen throughout Fairfield County, Pickerington, and Lancaster all reporting a significant drop in some of their property crimes.
And I think one of the things that I'm really proud of the law enforcement community in our county is the fact that we're not standalone. In other words, it's just not the sheriff's office, but it is the Lancaster Police Department. It is the Pickerington Police Department participating in this. It is Hocking County. It is Logan. So it's a lot of people that participate to make this a successful program.
Right, and it wasn't always this way, but the cooperation between yourself and these other sheriffs and chiefs is just unbelievable. I mean, it makes pooling these resources, viable for one of the first times, ever. I think we serve as kind of a model to the rest of the state, and I think the rest of the country in a lot of ways.
I do too, and I think a lot of people will say that, and they're really happy with the cooperation. It's not only in the narcotics area, but across the line as far as sharing information, whether it's the Detective Bureau, whether it's our patrol deputies and Lancaster police officers. There really is an openness and a willingness to kind of cooperate and share those kind of things.
Yes, sir.
Now, anything coming up on the horizon for the major crimes unit? You're going to be getting some, or scrap, you're going to be getting some additional personnel?
Right. We are pretty much into training mode right now. We've got a new officer coming from Pickerington PD, and we've got a new officer coming from Lancaster PD. We're really excited about that to, kind of get some new blood into the mix and get them trained up right, and that way we can go out and we can kind of, hit things at a dead run in the next week or two.
So lots of things going on. Do you see the problems increase with the summer months, and as it gets cold and winter, do you see any type of change, or is it pretty consistent?
It's pretty consistent year round. I think we see a little uptick around the holidays, at least with meth labs, and I think it's generally we see an uptick in meth labs over the colder months. We see a lot of dump sites in the summer months, because people are out finding this type of material. But we, as far as us going out and locating these labs, it seems like we do better in the colder months on those.
How many calls, tips do you get in a given week or month? Or
I just checked the tip line before I left the office, and we got 15 over the weekend.
Okay.
So, and that's about average for over a weekend. I'll bet you we probably see between 20 and 30 a week.
And then of that 20 or 30, are most of them valid complaints? Or is there a host?
Here's the thing. With the scrap unit and the way that we do this by investigating the tips that come in, we're able to validate a lot of those.
Wow.
I mean,
so those tips are very important.
They're very important.
Before we go off the air, go ahead and give us the telephone number again. And if any of our citizens out there are viewing or listening today, make sure that if you see suspicious activity, let us know.
Sure, it's 653-5224.
Wow, we are coming down with just about a minute left. Like to have you back next week. For our viewers and listeners' information, Sergeant Collins not only runs our scrap team, but he's also involved in the SWAT team, takes care of our training, just a host of different responsibilities. I don't know how you get it all done.
Hard work.
Hard work, Webb. You're right. It is hard work. Appreciate you, 22-year veteran of the Sheriff's Office. We're going to have you back next week, talk about the SWAT team, talk about training within the Sheriff's Office, so make sure that you don't miss that program. Do appreciate our executive producer, Kelly Roberts, that actually lines the guests up, the students here at Fairfield Christian Academy, J.T. Burchin, and all the gang that helps put this program together each and every week. And certainly you, the viewers and listeners, we appreciate your support and steadfastness in viewing and listening to our program each and every week. Until next week, same time, same place. If you're driving, buckle up, be careful. God bless, and we'll see you right here next week.
These waters were woven into the culture of Native American tribes. The descendants of the early Europeans built a business here based on agriculture. And today, this unique destination in the central Ohio countryside comes to life with stories and memories centuries old. The Fairfield County Historical Parks invites you to amazing Rock Mill. Above the falls of the Hocking River Gorge, here together, nature and man have created some truly American stories that you'll want to experience with the entire family. Visit us or learn more about Rock Mill and the largest wooden water wheel in the nation at historicalparks.org.